Can we talk about weddings for a second? I absolutely love weddings. I love how families come together to celebrate their love. I love the ceremony of it. I love everything about it. I cry at weddings. If you invite me to your wedding, I will come to your wedding. I loved my own wedding. My wife and I had a beautiful celebration, and it was one of the happiest days of my life. So today, I want to talk to you about how a wedding fits into your marriage green card case or a fiance visa situation. I want you to know what the mistakes are, how to avoid them, and how a wedding can help your case. What's up, everybody? If you don't know me, my name is Josh Goldstein, and I'm an immigration lawyer, and I'm the founder of Immigration Station, this channel, which is really for you. It's designed to answer your questions and give you the tools and tips that you need to help you achieve your immigration goals. So the basis of any immigration case where the underlying case is based on marriage or a fiance visa is that there's a genuine relationship. So the first question that people have is, do you need to have a wedding? Is a wedding required? Does a wedding help your case look better? What these questions really go to is that to get the case approved, you have to show that there's a genuine relationship. The thinking is that a wedding might be required because if you have a genuine relationship, you have to have a wedding. Well, weddings are not required. There's no legal requirement that you have to have a wedding celebration. You do have to convince the immigration agency that your relationship is genuine, but plenty of people do that without having a wedding. I would say the majority of my clients who get green cards through marriage or through a fiance visa don't have weddings. You should have a wedding if you personally want to have a wedding. Does a wedding look better? Is it helpful? I wouldn't say that it definitely looks better or is helpful. I think a lot of times it's a distraction for people, that they get hung up on this fact that they need to have a wedding. Because keep in mind that planning a wedding is a very elaborate thing to do, and it's often very costly, and it can be an impediment for people. So I don't want you to get caught up on this idea that you have to have a wedding or that it's going to look bad if you don't have a wedding. One of the key points that I want to make about weddings, it can turn bad for you in your immigration case. And let me explain what I mean. If you are in the US and you plan a foreign wedding that's based on when the immigration agency is supposed to do something, things can get extremely stressful. Let me tell you a story about one of our clients. His name is Nasir. Nasir is a Pakistani guy, and he and his family planned an elaborate wedding in Pakistan. Nasir and his wife went to a civil courthouse in the US and they got married, and they applied for a green card through marriage. And they planned this foreign wedding with all these guests, and it was an elaborate celebration. And he did so because he thought that he would get his travel document by a certain date and then he would be able to travel outside the US. Well, guess what happened? The travel document didn't come as quickly as he hoped it would, and so it became a really stressful situation. And he got his travel document just in the nick of time and everything worked out. But my point is, you should never put yourself in a situation where you're basing your wedding plans on a US government agency doing something within a certain period of time. It's very difficult for me as a lawyer to predict how long things are going to take. Some cases take longer than others, and especially right now during the pandemic, it's very difficult to predict with any degree of accuracy how long a certain immigration case is going to take to process. So what I recommend that you do is disconnect the wedding from your immigration case. If you're in the US, and you want to have a foreign wedding, wait till you get your green card and then plan the celebration. Or have the wedding in the US so you don't have to worry about triggering any immigration consequences by being forced to leave the US. By the same token, you don't want to plan a wedding inside the United States if you're going through the consular processing system. Let's say that you've applied for a fiance visa. The fiance visa gives you permission to enter the US for the purposes of getting married and filing for a green card within 90 days. Well, if you plan a wedding based on getting the visa, what if the visa doesn't come through in time? Or what if, for whatever reason, instead of getting approved, the consulate puts your visa on hold? Who knows what's going to happen? Don't put yourself in that situation. Don't take one stressful process, which is immigration, and add another stressful process to it, which is planning a wedding. I'm not in the wedding planning business, but I am in the business of helping people decrease their stress when it comes to these processes. And take it from me, you'd be better off disconnecting these two things. Finally, when it comes to the Fiance visa, the K-1 visa, I have something important to tell you about weddings. And here's what it is. Sometimes what people will do is they'll apply for a Fiance visa. Fiance visa is for people who are engaged to get married. So if you get married, if you get legally married, it would invalidate your Fiance visa application. So what they do instead is they plan an elaborate wedding that they don't register with legal authorities. So they have the wedding, but they don't finish registering it as legal. And what happens in those situations sometimes is that the consulate gets wind of this or becomes aware of this event, and it raises questions as to whether the couple actually got married or not. Don't do that at all. If you're going through the K-1 Fiance visa application process, don't have a wedding-like celebration that could raise questions about whether you actually got married. Don't do it. Let's keep things simple. Let's avoid stress. Let's plan the wedding at the right time and keep hoping for our immigration goals in the meantime. Those are my tips, those are my suggestions, and I'll talk to you soon.